sensation.
So literally,
we are back.
If anything's there, they're gonna eat it.
With the Blamegirl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne right here,
and we got Raul Perez Boomer
What's up,
Humor
guys?
in the house.
Welcome,
What's up? Raul, how was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend's always good. Just having fun, relaxing. Didn't have to work this weekend, so that was nice.
Yeah,
and just enjoying paradise here. We live in paradise.
You were retired.
What's that? I teach a little bit. Yeah, I'm a retired firefighter paramedic, and I was also a nurse, a retired nurse. And now in my retirement, I teach. I go to hospitals and fire departments, and not too much, but enough to keep me busy. It's fun.
How was your weekend, Terry?
What did I do? Oh yeah. I was moving this weekend and it sucked and I hate it. And I took a poll.
Where did you move to?
Hang on. I took a poll on Instagram and more than 65% of the people said they love moving. Who loves moving? And I noticed that it was all women that said they loved it. It was all women. And I realized, I'm like, oh, that's because they don't actually have to move shit. They just get guys like me to do it for them. Like, we're in a new place.
I don't think that's how they took it. I don't think they took it as like you're moving from, I took it when I saw it. I thought you were just alluding to moving again out of the state. You've been talking about that a lot. So
no, I said I was going to move out of the country.
Okay, wherever.
Yeah.
That's how I took it. Like, oh, he's talking about leaving town again. So that's what I thought you meant. And some people, when they leave town, when you move it, like I had a good experience when I came to Florida. I'm still here. I've been here longer than I was in Houston. So I don't know. Anyway.
Moving's expensive.
No, actually, I moved my girlfriend into my house.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
How much stuff she have? A lot of stuff?
Not a ton in one bedroom, one bath, but enough,
That it took the whole weekend. You couldn't do it in a day?
Well, it was packing on Saturday and moving on Sunday.
Y'all didn't
no U-Haul involved.
So no, I did. I hired a Guatemalan fellow. If you've ever
one mover?
Yeah, if you've ever rented a U-Haul, because she can't lift anything because she's a female. And so I needed one person just to help me with the heavy stuff.
Oh, okay.
So and if you've ever been to like a Home Depot or a U-Haul place, like they just stand around and they're like, "You need some help?" I'm like, and I knew he would be
in Palm Beach also. In Palm Beach also, I thought that was only a Miami thing.
No, I knew he would be there.
That's an American thing.
Yeah, that's everywhere. That's everything. But I knew he would be there, so I didn't even bother hiring anybody. And then
I can just go get
the first guy that came up. I was like, "You're my guy. Let's go."
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had an interesting weekend.
Nobody cares.
I had an interesting weekend. He's really that big of a douchebag in person, guys.
Tell us.
I'm nice though.
That's why. Why would you say that?
He's genuine.
Anyway, my weekend was interesting. On Friday, I went down to Broward. I forget the name of the venue. It's a seafood place. I did with Chris Priester. He threw me up as like a guest real quick. That was cool. Saturday, I did a contest in Boca at the Healthy Asian restaurant. I'm butchering the name, but I got second place.
All right.
Yeah, in the contest, you get your name on a billboard if you win. So that's pretty. So this month it'll be Mark Christopher.
Okay.
Our old tour mate. Yeah.
Mark.
I got second though, and then I tried out Louis.
Respectable.
Louis Weeble, April. Jonathan with an H. You may know him as whatever name. I tried out
Weeble. Rings a bell. Okay.
Louis Weeble.
This Fort Lauderdale?
No, it's Lake Worth.
In Lake Worth. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed you never invite me to the contests.
I didn't see it.
You said you don't do contests.
I don't do contests, but I don't think that's the reason.
I want to do a roast.
I'll do contests.
We need a roast, man.
You're not afraid?
I'm not good at roast. I wouldn't do that though.
I've been roasted.
You got to write for it. You got to prepare for it. You got to know your opponent, and then a couple of weeks before.
I feel bad roasting people.
I love it. I love it.
I like roasting groups of people, like Mint. You know,
right,
me and
right.
Elgin David,
white people.
Me and Elgin David started the first roast battles down here
because
we both went to LA and we
Roast
both watched the roast battles at the Comedy Store. And we came back and we said we should do this here. And I hosted it and he DJ'd it, and it was fucking fantastic.
Good
That's
stuff,
why they roasted me, because I came on the scene when they did
make it real.
Well, they roasted me at the Swampgrass Willie's.
Yeah,
that was unrelated.
All right, guys, are y'all ready to do some blaming?
Oh boy, I'm ready. I need the vent.
I don't know. You sound low.
I need the vent.
No, he's waiting because he thinks he's gonna get attacked.
I said he sound low energy. Okay.
Low energy.
Oh
my god.
So a police.
You're right. I'm trying. Huh?
A police department, the sheriff in Isabella County, they decided that they were not going to respond to non-emergency calls in person anymore due to a gas shortage. Who's to blame?
I agree. I completely agree with that decision. Most non-emergency calls are nothing. Even when there's a threat of violence, that's still considered an emergency. So even if you got, like, say, a Karen in a Walgreens that spit on a clerk because she didn't want to put on a mask or whatever, like, that's still considered an emergency because there's a threat of violence.
The battery, she spit on her.
Huh?
The battery, she spit on her.
Yes, exactly. It's still considered an emergency. So, but the non-emergency stuff, a lot of that can be handled over the phone. Like, there's no reason to waste resources on it.
I thought about this and I was like, do they even do that in big cities? Don't they probably just do calls if it's a non-emergency?
No, they just get to when they get to you. It's like,
Okay. They eventually get to you. Okay.
So many 911 calls.
That's great that you agree with the decision, Terry, but Raul, who's to blame here?
And first and foremost, support the blue like no other. I worked with them for almost 30 years. I know what a police officer has to go through. I've seen it. I've lived it. Been on scenes, multiple scenes. Okay, cops that have been EMTs. They've been psychologists. They've been social workers. They've been caretakers. They put their lives on the line. They got to put up with the cancer of society. And I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about society in general, from the street to City Hall. Okay, they have been disrespected, and I can't believe cops have just not walked off the job nationwide. That's what needs to happen.
But you are not telling me who's to blame about this gas shortage and them going to non-emergency calls.
Yeah. Who's to blame? Oh, the city. The city would be to blame.
The city would be to blame. Move, or do you think that's a bad move? It was the sheriff made that call.
I think, of course, it's a bad move. But again, you're not going to have the personnel to cover. You're not going to have the staffing to cover these things. So, if they got to do that, I can see that happening. For Christ's sakes, it's nuts what's going on with the cops. It really is. It's
That's interesting to hear from an ex-fireman, just because of the animosity between blue and red.
There's a lot. Oh no, there's no animosity blue and red. We're good.
I worked on both sides.
We just mess with them. We mess with each other, but we've always covered each other. Yeah, I think it's look at the states. Look at New York. What's going down in New York? There's a lawlessness is out of. It's all over. The disrespect and the remorselessness, and from
I feel like
everywhere.
This is taking a turn towards something else, and I'm gonna go there with you.
No, don't go there.
No, we'll go there.
You won't go there?
No,
I thought that's what we were going to talk about. We're going to get real.
Y'all have
we're talking about who's to blame.
Y'all both avoided the question, though.
I didn't.
Who's to blame?
I asked
the question.
You don't think this is a sign of late stage capitalism? You stopped me. Terry.
Why? Okay, how? Where? Why? Because they don't want to respond to a non-emergency call? You got public service aides that can do that?
It's not just that. They ran through their gas budget. They've already exhausted what funds they budgeted for fuel. And that was several months ago before they made this decision.
Well, look, I feel like I'm uniquely situated because I first, when I was 19, I did the police academy. I did the training with Broward County Sheriff's Office. I got over 100 hours of ride time with them, and I walked away and went to fire instead because I'm like, these guys are douchebags. Like every cop I rode with was a douchebag in a different way. One guy was taking pills all the time. Another guy just literally would sit there and screw off in his squad car unless there was an immediate need. Another time,
he had the right idea, right?
What?
Like, the one that would screw off until there was an actual immediate need.
Well, apparently now, because that's what they're doing. That's exactly what you're talking about. But then again, when I went to fire and I started doing that, I was like, well, there's douchebags here too. And that's when I realized, like, oh, there's douchebags
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Thank
but
you.
We got
everywhere. In every business. In every
we got to purge them from these critical
but
roles.
That's the thing. We got these beefed up law enforcement departments when maybe
we're going at it.
You need someone other than law enforcement to respond to some of these non-emergency.
A social worker.
We're not going at it. This is just my experience.
Okay. Here's my perspective.
We don't have to purge them.
If we're talking about the
well, let me clarify before you answer. I wasn't saying we need to purge them from fire, right? That'll handle itself. If they don't do their job, they'll get purged all by themselves. But cops get a lot of leeway, especially when it comes to fucking up. And when you're armed, you just can't have that kind of leeway.
Okay. Here's what my interpretation of what society expects of these police officers, and how they would handle it. Like both of you, I don't know how old either one of you are, but think of yourselves as police officers right now. You're a cop. You went to police training. You're a cop. You know how to fight a little bit. That's about it. You know how to shoot a little bit, so on and so forth. You have an incident, you have a call where whatever, it's just you and let's say a 21-year-old, 6'4", 235-pound jacked up guy who's pissed off and wants to whip your ass and take your gun, and do whatever. Society expects you to place that guy in a wrist lock, and with one hand, and then radio for backup with the other. That's the perception. That's where the police department.
That's training. That's what
No. It's not training because you just can't put up with that. No matter how well trained you may be, just being by age or physical size. Listen, physical size, age. You got a 55-year-old retiree cop, old man, overweight, ready to, retire, pension out. You got a 110-pound female police officer. So a guy like that is just going to swat across the head.
They are
like with nothing. That's the thing. What they're trying. That's where these cops are being. You said they get paid,
but it takes more than brawn to do the job.
Oh, I know. Of course, de-escalating and talking to them and slowing up.
De-escalating.
We don't.
Of course. No, listen. I'm not. You're right. I'm not mentioning that.
And that's why I was saying, like, do we even need these cops to respond to non-emergencies? Because often they do escalate them, and it goes to this, and people lose their lives over some bullshit.
Well,
over a traffic stop.
Well, there is.
Okay, why? Okay, like, why? 90% of them. Why was
jumpy, jittery police officers?
Because they either resist or do not comply with the officer's requests. In 90% of those cases. Of compliance. I'm going to go between the two of you. I'm going to go resisting. I really believe so. Listen, had George Floyd, and I'll go to the top one. I was
thinking about Philando Castile, who complied.
Okay, no, listen, there are some, but did he evade also? Okay, no, if George Floyd just would have gotten out of the car, if George Floyd would have just gotten out of the car, put his hand behind his back, get handcuffed, placed in the back of the car.
Apologize for him standing on his neck for 7 minutes.
No, I do, but that's what it ended up. I'm just saying, picture this scenario.
No one was upset.
George Floyd gets stopped in his car. They ask him to get out of the car. He gets out of the car. They search him. He places his hands behind his back peacefully. Gets handcuffed. And they open the car back to the police car, put him in the back seat of the car. They close the door. Would George Floyd be alive today? What do you think? Absolutely. You know that. Okay. Well, what happened? These cops are here. And yeah, it was unfortunate. Did he try to kill him that way? I don't think he tried to kill him. That's a procedure used 1,000,001 times by cops. I don't think he did it intentionally to kill him. Okay. I really don't. I mean, I know everybody came out like that.
I know it's a big thing. Killing him. So I don't know. Maybe
you know what? You know where he failed? He failed to recognize when he went unresponsive, because he went from yelling to going unresponsive, and then that's where the cop really screwed up. Well, okay, he had his knee on his back still, and after the guy was out already, and that was a big that was a turning point.
Let me separate you two. Normally, this is her job. But let me separate you two for a second to your corners. And I understand what you're saying, Raul. I really do. It is a dangerous job, but you know what? The world needs plenty of bartenders too. And if you can't handle, hang on, if there are certain jobs that come with an element of danger. You choose whether or not to do them. No, you choose whether or not to do them. And it's fine. But she is right. There are jumpy, jittery, scared, what I like to call pussy cops that shouldn't be there. They shouldn't have that job. They really shouldn't. Because
but like any other job.
Who's the guy in the car that got shot in front of his daughter? What was just because he had a gun?
Listen, but there have been horror stories.
Okay, the same guy. Okay, that's what I thought. Or the guy,
I don't remember who is it. Did he evade? I don't remember his situation. Did he resist? Did he evade?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't evading. I saw the video.
He was a responsible gun owner. And they told him, and the cop was like,
he went to reach for his gun. Went to reach or something, right?
Or the white kid that was crawling on his hands and knees towards the cop in the hotel, and then the guy shot him with an MP5.
That was
while he was crying, begging him.
I know they're horrible.
No, but here's the problem. Here's my problem with that. Because this is not a personal problem. It's not a police problem. This is an institutional problem. Because you know what happened to that guy who killed that kid in that hotel on the floor, crying, pissing his pants, begging for his life? He got transferred, and he still worked for 2 more years as a cop. That's insane to me. And I mean, forget about prosecuting the guy, but you don't give him another position.
Just to add to the level of insanity, the Uvalde cops.
Okay.
No, not okay.
Horrible.
These niggas lying about what they did right now. They're breaking.
They should. They're gonna be facing a lot of shit. Wait a minute.
Let me get in here. The cops are not above reproach, man. They're just not. I won't.
Oh, they're not. Absolutely. Nobody ever said they were. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. But at the same time, listen. The bottom line is, and I tell my kids this all the time: you get stopped by a cop. Yes, sir. No, sir. Get out of the car. What do you need me to do? I'm going to do it. Sit down. I'm going to sit down. Shut up. I'm going to shut up. You know, you have the right to remain silent. End the story. You can't get animated. You can't go to court on scene.
Fucked up. That's what
you can't go to trial on scene.
That's what makes this fascism.
Hang on.
You can't even act like it's fascism. You can't act like
no, it's not fascism because
I'll tell you what. Wait. I'll tell you what you can do. You can bum rush the U.S. Capitol and go in there and shit on Nancy Pelosi's walls, and you'll never be shot as long as you look like me.
And also shit on
because I think we did that. I think we've kind of
thank you for that transition, man.
Please,
you're welcome. That's a good transition.
That's a good. I do transitions too.
You know,
anytime you want to do it. So
let me clarify something here. As far as politically goes.
Wait, let him finish.
As far as politically in my stance, I don't know if you guys declare. I guess you declare a stance, but I'm an ultimate independent. Okay, I'm an MPA since 1980.
Well, that
1980.
Listen,
absolutely, I really am. Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you right now, I voted for Obama twice and I voted for Trump twice. That's how kind of independent I am. Okay, I vote for the best American that comes to the plate.
Okay.
So, whatever side comes to the plate. So if you're prejudging as far as anything, don't do it because I have a lot of liberal ideas. Right. I think both sides are very extreme.
We're getting
Very,
a little
very
out of hand
extreme.
Let's
here.
go make some good reels.
Everybody talks at
Let's go
once.
make some good reels.
All
Okay,
right,
I can't
do it.
wait to get your
right.
feedback on this one then, Raul.
Uh-huh.
The January 6th committee hearings, they
The
are
government
being
walkthrough.
televised. Who's to blame? Why are they putting this
Us.
before the American people?
Because they are
We are to
deflecting of what is happening in this country. Okay, they're deflecting on the total incompetency and the total failure of everywhere you turn on the Joe Biden administration, from borders to gas to economy to you. Keep on going. Keep on
This
going.
from our independent Raul, everybody.
That's
This
not
is
very
this.
independent.
That's my view on the
Some
topic.
Biden
This is my
sucks.
view on the topic. I am independent. I'm telling you, I am, man.
Okay.
You'll
All right.
see.
All right.
Listen.
Well,
Okay,
here's my
let's
thought.
compare.
let's
You guys, okay, tell
So
me.
you
You asked me to
think they're
compare.
doing it? They're televising.
No. First, do you guys think that was a coup? Was that a coup attempt? Was that a military takeover coup attempt? Really?
No.
Really?
I think
Is that what that was? That was an organized military attack.
Raul,
Let me
we
ask
one
you.
at a time here.
The only reason it wasn't a military attempted coup is because these niggas couldn't bring their guns into DC because the laws are so great.
Okay,
That's
and
why.
let's say they would.
That's why.
Let's say, but they didn't. But they
did.
didn't.
They had their guns right across the Potomac.
Even if they would have, they would have been neutralized in no time. Okay, they're a bunch of drunk, good old boy rednecks. Okay, pissed off because Trump didn't win. Okay, and once they got there, they did what they did. But was it a government insurrection takeover? Come on, man. Really? That's what really upsets me about it, is that they're making it look.
I know I ain't out of pocket.
They're making it look like it was a coup attempt, that they were going to dethrone Joe Biden and that they were going to, put a new king in place and so on. And so, come on, man.
Okay.
It's just a bunch of rowdy people is what it was.
Both
It was a
of you
bunch of rowdy people that got out of control.
on.
They had guns ready to go.
Where? Where?
Across the Potomac.
Okay, a couple of guys had some guns.
No,
Was it really? Okay,
Well,
ask yourself one thing.
Militias.
Ask yourself.
Take your
my
breath.
God.
Both of you
Ask yourself. You're taking over the United States military.
Sounds like
Okay,
Fox
this is what
News
you're showing up with.
argument.
Really?
Fox News ain't got our opinions on there. Go ahead.
Huh?
Okay, listen. Let's all agree on a couple of things here. All right.
The U.S. military.
First of all, let's both agree that 5 people died. So it wasn't.
I understand.
It was.
I understand. It was a riot situation.
Whoa! One at a time.
Yes.
No, if we all talk at once, nobody gets hurt.
Sorry.
So
it is good.
5 people died. Now let's agree that I'll come at Gio first. No, Gio, even if it was a couple of thousand people storming the Capitol, they weren't going to overthrow the U.S. government. Okay, that was not going to happen. But on the converse side, Raul, you have to admit that if the military would have listened to Trump, that there would have been martial law, and he would have tried a coup if he had the military support, which he did not.
Isn't that overthrowing the government?
Yeah,
I don't think
the only attempted coup.
But I don't think Trump ever thought of
didn't
doing
come from the idiots with the AR-15s. It came with the guy that was the chief. No, I'm going between you two. I'm saying it came from the chief executive officer. That's where it came from.
You know why these hearings are being televised?
I don't think that was ever an issue.
The American public needs to see what really fucking happened. Because listen to Raul, you don't even believe that this motherfucker did all this knowing that he had lost the election. He riled all these people up. Maybe it was just a couple of thousand, but it was fucking inappropriate. They stormed our Capitol, and
it was inappropriate
to make money.
Absolutely,
he did it to keep making money and to stay in power, and it should not be allowed ever.
There was no military. There was never a takeover or coup threat, and that's what this panel is trying to make it. Come on, man. Come on, it's a U.S. freaking military. Okay, come on. Okay, a bunch of rowdy and why didn't the Capitol Police do anything? Why didn't nobody respond there?
They attacked the Capitol Police.
Where was Secret Service?
Wait, and now you're attacking the Capitol Police. Ironically,
no, of course.
They did.
Where were they?
And you know what?
Listen, these guys should be hammered for what they did. I'm
because
firm believer they should be hammered for what they
all
did.
in that building.
No, they didn't threaten to take over the government.
They would have had their weapons and killed Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence.
Oh yeah,
They weren't going to kill anybody.
If Nancy Pelosi was there, she'd have been dead. 100%.
Hey, come on! But the picture of the guy sitting in Pelosi's desk, that was pretty cool. Come on, you got
okay, whatever. But if she was in that office, admit
horrible. It's horrible.
If Nancy Pelosi was in that office, she would be dead. Correct?
But yeah, but that also proved the vulnerability.
Oh yeah, and
if they
said hang his vice president, he agreed with that. That's why this is being televised.
That's true.
It needs to be televised. All right, let's talk about some of these highlights. I already hit on some of them. Did y'all see Ivanka sell her daddy out?
I saw that.
I don't think she. I don't think
when would that happen? How did that happen? Oh, yeah, that's another thing. This committee is like only one-sided. That's all we're hearing. It's one side.
I don't know, man. The vice chair is Liz Cheney, and I don't know if you were alive.
She's yeah. She's been slapping him.
He's not really associated with Democrats. He's like the uber conservative.
I don't know.
All right. So,
but the tolerance. I think they should all be hammered for what they did.
Look, I think we can all agree that they were never going to take over the government. It was never going to be a coup. But what they did want,
but they're making a big deal. They're making it look. We're trying to pass.
Don't interrupt.
Sorry,
you can go after me. But they didn't want to interrupt. What they wanted to do is disrupt the certification. Right?
They tried it.
Yeah, they just wanted to make make a mess for a couple of hours. That's what they wanted to do.
Why did they try it?
Now, but because
they
this whole drag out committee. We're gonna get Trump and all this stuff. They are bringing it across as if they were for real. They were going to take over the country. Absolutely, they were going to dethrone, Joe Biden. And come on, man, did they really try it? Did they really try it?
Let me ask you this.
They had broomsticks. They had a water buffalo helmet and a broomstick. Water buffalo helmet and a broomstick.
If those people,
they didn't have the guns to do shit. Come on.
That's the order of succession to the throne.
Yes, but what you're talking about is children that you say go start a restaurant. Like they couldn't fathom how you actually fucking do it. But I will say this, Raul, if they could have, do you think they would have? If they had
those guys are a bunch of drunk idiots running around.
Do that. If they had a button that says we can overthrow the government,
but they don't.
And install Donald Trump instead of having an election, do you think they would have pushed that button?
Okay. Let me. While you mentioned it, let me mention about the election.
Let's be fair.
Okay, and this is my absolutely fair. Okay. The electoral process in the United States, I don't think any party should be able to complain about it because it is absolutely a joke. That's right. I'm not saying that the election was stolen. I'm not saying whether it was good or bad. I don't care. Biden won. I don't give a shit. Okay. But you got to admit that the way that we vote in America is out of control. That you still from mailing in to standing in line to putting it in a paper to bubbling it in, punching a hole, putting it in a box. There's got to be another way, guys. With the technology that we have, we got millions of billions of dollars are transferred on PIN numbers. Okay. What do you mean? How do I vote?
In person?
I do it the old way. I just do it because I'm old. I just go and I go to a voting place and I vote. Yeah. But come on, you cannot, I don't care what party you're from. You can't honestly say that I am totally confident in the electoral process in the United States. And I think it's secure and it's been thoroughly counted to the last vote. Really? No, man, no way, man. Remember what happened? I mean, every year it's something.
Fraud, it would be on smaller elections because that's where fraud would actually make a difference.
I don't know.
The biggest fraud in American history is the fact that we do not go off a popular vote. That's the biggest fraud in American history.
Yeah. And then we only got two choices.
That's the biggest problem because it's like, if we did, Donald Trump never would have made it.
America is a more progressive country than it is a regressive country. It's the thing that makes us great is that we always want to innovate. We always want to move forward. And we do it with everything except for this one thing.
If we didn't have
and with the IT that we
problem is, if you look historically over the last 35 years, there would have only been one conservative elected president, and that would be George W. Bush in his second term after 9/11. That's the only time in 35 years where a Republican has won the popular vote.
That's the biggest fraud of any, like,
I mean, is it a democracy or is it not? That's my problem.
I'm just saying the process with all the IT that we have, with all the technology that we have in this freaking world.
They should have an app.
I don't know. How secure are your finances? You know, however secure your finances or your most intimate things.
Because conservatives will never win. That's
well,
why.
I mean,
fight against that.
If everybody voted, they ain't gonna win.
There should be a PIN number linked to something.
They don't want people to vote.
She's right. The Conservative Party is the only one that is fighting against more people voting, because the more people vote, the more they lose.
Right.
That's just proven fact.
And if more
especially with open borders.
If more people voted, maybe we'd have.
You still need a social security number.
If more people voted, maybe we'd have control over pollution, and catfishes wouldn't have dildos in their abdomens. Yes.
What's up with that? Catfish need loving too.
A mysterious hard object was found inside a catfish, and when they opened it up, it was a dildo. I had catfish for breakfast.
Nice.
Who's to blame?
Catfish is not a breakfast food. I'm from the South. Are you from the South? Yeah, I am from the South, and it's not a breakfast food.
Catfish. You know, noodling. You ever heard about noodling?
I can go to a breakfast restaurant right here in West Palm and get catfish.
That don't make it so. That don't make it right.
Catfish and grits. Anyway,
catfish.
So why was a dildo in a catfish, y'all? Help me understand this.
I'll tell you why. It's the same reason why the average American eats about a credit card's worth of plastic every single week.
Yeah, heard that.
We have
crazy.
Fucked our environment to the point.
Microplastic, I think it's called, right? Something like that.
Well, yeah, all plastic breaks down into microplastics, gets eaten by fish, and then we eat the fish, and then it comes in us. Not to mention,
but it's so good.
Well, that's true, but not to mention that as our freshwater sources deplete, the main source that science tells us will be our fresh drinking water will be desalinated ocean water. But how are we going to do that when it's filled?
How are we going to do that?
It can't be filtered out. You're gonna.
Water's the next oil.
Yeah, we're fucked. Well,
or is the next oil already?
Well, you know that people have already tried to say that governments should control water and that it should be a privately traded stock, just like everything else. Yeah, the Nestle company tried to say that water wasn't a public right. It wasn't a human.
I've heard that was it 1% of the world's water is ready to drink, like that. Ready to drink as is.
Well, the funny thing is that bottled water was the #1 contributor over the last 25 years. So the bottles that we keep our water in are now poisoning our water to where we can't drink the water because of the bottles that it came in. I mean, the irony is delicious. And we are dumb enough animals to deserve it.
But let me just say this.
And we're in America.
Yeah, I'm American.
Imagine the rest of the world how they're doing it.
Get in here. Do you think 2 lesbians were having sex in a river and forgot their dildo?
No.
Like, how did the dildo?
But where did catfish come in?
How do you think it got in the river?
Someone just threw a dildo in a river.
Was it a double-headed? Was it double-headed?
Have you ever been in a stoplight? You ever been in a stoplight or on a street or stop sign or something like that and just watch somebody toss shit out of their car? I've seen it dozens of times. They just toss shit away, like whatever it is.
I saw that in the 80s.
That is horrible.
Oh, no, it's happening.
A dildo,
littering outdoor.
The ones that you just stick and then you sit on it. It's huge.
Yeah, there's a suction on it.
I really felt bad for that poor fish. Like, wow.
You never know. He may have enjoyed it.
Look at that thing.
Don't judge.
The fish isn't sentient. All right. He doesn't have to worry about it. We're the ones that have to worry about it. We're the only animal on the planet that knows we're going to die. So we have to think about this shit because we're the ones that know our ending, is coming.
Is that
shit with the fish?
Let me ask y'all this, guys. are white nationalists going to bring about our ending? Because they are ramping things up lately. The other day, they were caught on their way to attack a pride celebration. They hate gays too now? Who's to blame?
Oh, they've always hated gays. What are you talking about?
Nuts, man.
That's not new.
Did you see their pictures?
Nuts.
Pretty sure
Nuts.
They're protecting
gays alone
because the gays are going to groom them into becoming gays too.
Yes.
That's the
They'll
main
teach them some culture.
Any
Anti-culture.
father is like, God, just let them be straight. You know.
You know what I appreciated about this story is that a concerned citizen called us in after these guys got out of their fucking.
That was cool. That's true. And they were like in a truck and a U-Haul. They were in a U-Haul.
No, they was going to start some shit.
Now,
like, that's undeniable. But here's the thing.
Yeah, they had riot gear.
They're getting a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, so now they know next time to go out in just regular clothes together.
Good time to have a concealed carry.
Oh, yeah, because we all want to live in Mad Max.
I don't want to be fighting a militia of...
Yeah, I'll open that window. That was a good segue. You like that?
This is just such egotistical male bullshit. It's like...
What's that?
Such first world problems. Like, you don't see anything like this happening in Rwanda. You don't see anything like this happening.
Right, but they'll machete your head off.
Not anymore.
In Pakistan, because they have actual problems there. So you don't have to create problems for because we all need problems. We need hills to climb. But you don't see that over there because they already have. They're like, oh shit, look, somebody's gonna cut off all our heads today. Yeah. They have those kind of problems, so they don't have to worry about who's gay and who isn't. You know, it's like, oh, somebody cut off my wife's clitoris. So that shit is. They have real
problems.
We have fake
not the
problems.
things we complain about.
Yeah, so we have to.
While we complain about pronouns, China's got the biggest navy or something like that. But the thing
is, I don't think these are fake problems.
It doesn't matter.
These are their fake problems. They're fake problems, and they're giving us fucking real problems because they're going out to our events armed and shooting people. So,
well, the thing I love about that so much,
now they're teaming up. That's what's fucking really frightening.
The thing I love about that so much is if you look at who speaks the loudest, it's kind of like in high school. The guy who talked about getting laid all the time never got laid. That's the thing. The loudest voice is the least action. So when I see a guy with a truck and a giant American flag, I'm like, I bet you never even served your community, much less served your country. You know what I mean? Because those vets and those veterans and the people that have served, they don't do that kind of shit. Yeah, it's only the redneck idiots.
No, it's usually the kid that was picked on, no relationships, withdrawn. They
need something to believe in. So they latch on to whatever crazy is close enough. And then next thing you know, they get arrested at a pride parade.
So what are we going to do with guns?
I think that the assault ban that we had in the 90s worked very well. And I think we should have the assault weapons ban again. Shotguns, long rifles, bolt actions, and pistols, I think are fine. But I do think that the aggressive assault style weapons definitely need to go away.
And they need to track.
I'm a gun owner myself. I have guns in my house, but I don't have fucking assault weapons because I'm not going to assault anybody. Don't tell me they're for hunting. If you need an AR-15 to hunt, you're a shitty fucking hunter.
They need to track ammo purchases. They did pass some gun legislation today. Actually.
They say we got 120 guns per 100 Americans.
We'll see. Democrats and Republican.
The age of 21 definitely needs to go up. No doubt. I mean,
you think
18 is ridiculous? Huh?
It should be 21.
Absolutely. I think it should be 24 or 25, if anything, but at least 21. Yeah.
Buying their kids.
I was at 20.
Yeah. Listen, the prefrontal cortex of your brain doesn't develop to like about 23. That's your decision-making part of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely.
That's why kids don't really, in their early 20s, are still out of it.
I got my first gun when I was 10 years old. And I got it from my father.
Yeah, but you grew up around there, and your parents, it's different when you grow up hunting and, in the outdoors and stuff.
You can't allow untrained people. We have a test. We have multiple tests that you have to take before you can sit behind the wheel.
No, I'm all for 21 extensive background checks. I'm not in favor of the AR because you can do the same damage with pretty much anything.
Well, I've said,
you can do, if you know how to shoot, you can do what you want to do with an array of firearms that there are out there. I don't think the AR is going to make that big of a difference as far as any
assault style weapon.
Weapon.
I've said the same thing for 15 years.
That's the commercialized one. That's the one that they made, and it was to be marketed and sold so they could make money. That's what that was for.
Well, yeah, but literally for 15 years, I've been saying we don't allow people to buy plastic explosives, right? But a pound of C4 in her hands or in your hands with my training is way less deadly than an AR-15 and a couple of racks in my hand.
Right.
That's just the way it is. Some people train for this shit. They
So,
really
mental
do.
health.
Right.
Mental health, you usually don't realize until after. You know?
All right.
He was a great kid.
I want to.
No, he wasn't.
Let's move on. Okay. So I want to welcome our guest again. Welcome Raul Perez Boomer Humor. He's a retired firefighter.
Such a bad name.
Retired nurse.
That's horrible.
He works now as an EMS educator. He's a husband, a dad of 4, a grandpa of 2, and politically concerned.
You look young for a grandpa.
62, baby. 1960.
Oh, wow. I would have guessed it. But maybe by your politics, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like a maybe. Hey, I've been good.
So how long have you been doing comedy, Raul?
I'm going on 5 years now. When I retired from the fire department, that was like, I always wanted to do it and lacked the courage to do it. And I just said, what the hell? What's going to happen? Let's do.
So running into a burning building, no problem. But doing 5 minutes.
Hey, yeah.
How did
that
you
silence? Going up, I did some classes at Improv with Ramon Garcia and Mike Panzica, and just started doing open mics and just loving it. It's addicting. Having a great time. My audience not so much, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate that we can go up.
Your audience not so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time. We're very fortunate.
In your 5 years of doing this, what's your favorite venue? And you can't say
the Improvs. Too easy.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you
Red Light, Bobby Mack. Always been Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack was one of the first ones to book me. Great guy. Touched a lot of hearts. He was, I always think of, now I'm doing shows, I always think of Bobby and how he treated his comedians and how, he was always open to everybody. Very cool guy. So Red Light would always be top of my list in the last 5 years, definitely. Obviously the Improvs, and right, as a bonus, right? Just the Funny in Coral Gables. I started actually a few months before I started doing stand-up. I did improv for a while, and how do you call it? Say they were a great place, great venue, and so that's always close to my heart as well. And other places around the town.
What's your favorite moment since starting comedy?
Proudest moment.
Your favorite or proudest moment?
Oh God. Teaching. I just finished teaching. Doing some beginners classes for the
teaching comedy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm teaching now. I've done 3 classes now for Miami Improv, and I'm a teacher otherwise, but teaching comedy has been a big how do you call it? Big challenge, a big thrill. And I love seeing people, coming off the street and ready to step out of the box and give it a shot. And I think it's cool. And those 5 weeks, and we have a show at the end. It's been good stuff. It's good stuff. Very, very rewarding. But as far as doing stand-up, I don't know. Oh, I did a fundraiser with a couple of national headliners recently, which was really nice. A cancer fundraiser at the Sabor Theater in Fort Lauderdale, which was cool. And Derek Richards and Al Romas, these guys have been in the business for a bunch of years, and it was a real honor to be with them. Huh?
I think I've been to that theater. I didn't go to that show.
Oh, very cool theater. Yeah.
I've been to that theater. Yeah.
Boca Black Box, that's a fun place also. But yeah, just wherever. It all depends on your how you do that night.
Yeah. So in doing comedy, what have you found to be like your biggest challenges?
Just keep grinding and keep writing and keep rewriting. And
why do you think that's challenging?
because you always, there's always premises around you. There's always things to look at, and just challenging yourself of not making fun of the obvious as much as, I think that's a big thing with comedy. Everybody can make fun of the news and what's going on, but trying to find other things that we all do, but we never talk about,
Like way to relate that everyone else isn't hard. It's hard to, I know,
right.
Hard to find
something. We all do it, but yeah.
No one else has covered it, So to be
right.
like, all right, well, that's awesome. Let's talk about you as a person. Who are you?
Me?
Like, yeah, you told us you're
me as a person.
EMS, firefighter.
Well, I'm 62 years old, born in New York City in Manhattan, lived right by the George Washington Bridge, to Cuban parents who came from Cuba in the mid 50s before Fidel. Back then, immigration, you had to have a sponsor. You had to put up a couple of grand and have a sponsor, like somebody to claim you to come over to the United States, and you had to give the government money.
That's
so
as
you didn't have to didn't be a liability to them. It was really, I was like, wow, that's what's weird.
Yeah, they still do it.
That is still the case. I can attest to that.
Yeah, they still make you do it.
Actually, it's more expensive now.
Oh yeah.
My ex-wife spent about 10 grand because she was
right.
And we got married and we still spent about 10 grand.
Look at that. Yeah. And then I moved to Miami, 71. I was 11 years old, and went to middle school, high school. I was a Miami nightclub DJ from the age of 18 till 28 in the nightclub business, and trying to go to school for accounting, trying to become an accountant and get a real job during the day. And that never worked out. I would fall asleep, start seeing all those numbers. And then I got on the fire department, became an EMT at 29, and I got on the fire department at 30.
So wait, you were a DJ in the 70s?
I was a DJ in the late 70s. I was a disco DJ, and then it turned, yes, sir, with hair, absolutely, and a waistline too.
What a life!
What a life! It was crazy. Hey, let me tell you, we had a good time. The 80s were great, and then through the early 80s with all the when it went from disco into art, how do you call it? Progressive rock, dance-oriented rock, they called it. U2, Depeche Mode, Psychedelic Furs, all that stuff. But yeah, good time. Got on the fire department and had a great career in the fire department.
You still working?
No, I'm done. I did 3 jobs for 25 years, guys, and I raised 3 kids, and I worked way too much in my freaking life. I was a full-time firefighter. I don't know if you know the schedule. We work 24 on, 48 off. We're off a week every 3 weeks. So we work like 8 or 9 24-hour shifts a month. Plus, that's the week off. And I was a nurse, and I taught. So with all those days off, I'd either nurse or teach or nurse during that week. And like that, 25 years went by. And then I retired from the fire department at the beginning of 18. And then I retired from patient care nursing. I did 30 years in the same hospital, Kendall Regional Medical Center. I did 15 ER and 15 recovery. And I retired from nursing right when COVID hit. It was they called me up to go, hey, they told me, hey, you want to go to COVID ICU? And I go, you know what? I think this is a calling card. It's been 30 years. It's a good time. I'm older and I don't want to get, and I was out, tapped out. And now I just teach. I just go to different hospitals and fire departments, have a great time.
That's nice.
The funny thing is, the schedule is the reason why my brother is a fireman today.
Oh, it's how to, Well, it's great because you have a lot of time.
I told him about the schedule. I was like, just think about it this way. Every day you work is a Friday, and every month you have a 5-day vacation. And as soon as I told him that, he was like, that sounds pretty good. And I was like, if you're for 20 years, you get to retire at 80% pay. So, like,
really good, right?
It was really good. And he took it, and he's still doing it today.
Yeah. I'm always recruiting. Any young kid that I see that's out there, a teenager or a young kid in their early 20s, hey man, this is a good option for you before you put, who knows how much money into student loans and stuff like that, and
it's
into a degree that you don't know.
It is funny how certain people though think that that oh my God, I hate myself.
I can't read your
No,
mind.
I know I hate myself.
And you can't either, apparently.
Yeah, no. It's funny how certain people think that unions are bad until you start talking about cops and firemen. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, not those unions.
Yeah, not those. Yeah, that's true.
Good.
No, but I think unions,
they are good for
I think unions should be across the board for every corporation in America.
I love
to me. I mean, here's a left side of me. Okay. I think that all McDonald's, anybody who works the line, McDonald's cashiers across the board,
yeah,
they should make at least 20, 25 bucks an hour. End of story. These people, if you're a CEO that has 10 houses and 55 yachts, okay, and the people at your line need 3 or 4 jobs to freaking keep a roof over their head, something's up. Huh?
That's shameful.
That's shameful.
It is.
To me, that is modernized slave labor.
I don't need
modern day slave labor is what that is. That's legal labor. I mean, legal slave labor. Okay. If you work for a freaking whatever, we can name them off, right off the bat. Okay. Whoever's your line personnel, whoever's bringing it, okay, should be doing well. Should be able to afford a home. Should be able to afford a home, a car, insurance, the whole 9 yards. I mean.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the same people who complain that there's nobody to work in the fast food joints are the same people who complain about immigration. It's like, who do you think works at these places? It's not your spoiled kids anymore.
No, that's not true. I think that if you made that,
that are working,
not in the.
No, if you made it well paid, with benefits, you got people that'll do whatever, man.
Yeah,
you got to take care of them. You got to take care of them, though. McDonald's cashiers. How much money does McDonald's make?
Women and old black men.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right.
Haitian women and old black men are the majority of people I see working at these fast food joints right now.
Oh, depends where you work. Well, depends where you live. I mean, that's you can't say that.
I live in Florida. But I drive every day. 100 miles.
I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, he ain't lying. There do be a lot of Haitian or Islander women working.
Well, the thing that's curious to me is the old black men. It's like, why are old black men now gravitating towards fast food? Because they are.
I've seen maybe.
I think it's because young black women work there and they want to get laid. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's
who's talking there?
I also see addicts, maybe former recovery people that will work.
Yeah.
There. So, but anyway, all right. Are you ready to play the blame game?
Let's do it. Who are we blaming?
So you do political humor despite the challenges to do political humor. Who's to blame? Why do you even take the risk?
What's the risk?
No laughs.
People hating you.
Mm-hmm.
No laughs. Yeah.
Humor.
You don't do it at all?
No, they hate me.
My theory is, like I said, I am an ultimate NPA. I rip on both sides.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna rip on both sides. Absolutely. My goal is to try to leave you not thinking which side I'm on. And I think both sides have a lot to pick on. And like I said earlier, both sides are extremes. There are a lot of extreme views on both sides. Why do I take the risk? Because the news doesn't do it. Because the news is just so divided, man, and you don't know what either side that you're on.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we have? Maybe Bill Maher, maybe that goes on either side. What else is there out there? Unless you tune into the left or you tune into the right. Who's in the middle?
SNL.
Anybody in the middle?
SNL is making fun of every president that is
SNL.
In the last 40
SNL.
years, SNL has made fun of every president that's ever been elected.
But who else is there? There isn't really. I mean, let trust me. I listen to both sides, guys. I really do. I listen to both. I listen to CNN, MSNBC, Fox.
I don't even watch those.
There's a bias when it comes to Trump, but that's only because Trump is the wishing well that never stops giving. Yeah. That's not anybody's fault but his own.
People making
if
money.
He would shut up more, he would be.
If he knew how to talk. Hey, listen, numbers don't lie, and that you can't deny. Okay, the country was 1,000 times better when he was in office, like him or not, than compared to what we have now. You
We're
can't
not talking
compare.
about that. We're talking
Okay,
about
well,
making fun of politicians.
yeah.
But he's
But I
the
mean,
well
that's
that never dries up. He'll give you something next week if you're not talking about it.
another thing is
That's
denial.
my opinion of Donald Trump is he doesn't care what you're saying about him as long as you're talking about it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're
All
right.
right, Raul,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to promote? Your social media, any upcoming shows? Did I see that you're on a show tonight at Thank You Miami?
No. I have a show, a monthly show doing it at Blue Martini and Kendall, and that's been fun. We're going on almost a year now, and that's all I have for now. And just coming around, I'll be at the Miami Improv on the 29th, doing the new faces there, and I think that's all for now for the next couple of weeks. Going to Georgia actually.
I like Miami.
Georgia.
I said I like Miami Improv. That's a great venue. I only performed there once, but it was great. I loved it. I loved the setup. Yeah.
I have never been to the Miami Improv.
Really? The Doral? Doral's a nice area.
We'll do a thing.
All right. I guess that means it's time for you. Do you want to give out your social media or?
Yes, Raul Perez on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm on YouTube as well. I need a good social media person who does stuff like that. Huh?
That's a very common name.
You got to type in Boomer Humor and you'll find him.
Boomer Humor, yes. That's the only reason I put it there because of how many Raul Perez's there are, and I am a boomer.
Yeah. All right.
But it's like Boomer Humor.
Terry,
can't be any worse. That's a worse name.
Terry, do you have words for white people this week?
I do. I'm ready for my monologue.
What are we doing?
Well, this is where I do my words for white people at the end.
Words?
It's words for white people. It's my little monologue I do at the end of every show.
Okay.
Okay. So this time, honkies, we are going to talk about wastefulness. We're going to talk about wastefulness. Because I hate being wasteful. It's one of the things that irks me the most is how wasteful people can be with everything. We were just talking about a dildo found in a catfish. Okay, well, somebody could use that dildo, instead of wasting it. And just this weekend, while I was cleaning out my house to make room for my girlfriend's things, I could have thrown away the things that I didn't use, my old rock band set, and old televisions, things like that. But instead, I donated them to a church, not to be good, not to say, oh, I gave this to somebody, not for some self-aggrandizing justification for myself. No, because I don't want it to end up in a landfill or in the ocean. All right. When I was growing up in the 90s, it was the 3 R's. It was reduce, reuse, and recycle. And I always focused on the reuse more than anything else. So when my dryer breaks, I fix my dryer. I don't go buy a new one and just, especially today when so much information is available to everybody, anything you want to do is a YouTube video away. You have no excuses, really, no excuses. And not only that, it'll save you money. It'll save you headache. It'll save you heartache. I didn't have to go buy a new dryer because I just figured it out. I just used my human intelligence and resources to figure out that, all I needed was a $15 part off Amazon and about an hour's worth of elbow grease. And guess what? It works better than it did when it was brand new now. So why is it that we're so wasteful with everything? And that's when I want to wrap it around to these January 6 hearings. The amount of resources and money and time that is wasted on this nonsense is ridiculous. We all know what happened. We watched what happened. We know who's to blame. Why are we using all of this money and resources just to try and convince a 35% of the people that what they saw was reality? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. The millions of dollars of our own money that we're spending to try and convince the Proud Boys that what happened, happened. We know what happened. We know who's to blame. We know who caused it. Just prosecute already. You don't need a whole summer's worth of entertainment to justify what we all know is true. Okay? We all know it's true. Whether you love Donald Trump or whether you hate him, we all know what's true. I've had people in my life, in my family, who are ardent Trump supporters that after that said, okay, this guy might be dangerous. Like even them, the people that I'd argue with for years over shit like this, even them after this said, okay, this might be getting out of hand. Because yeah, you don't think it was a big deal, but would it have been a big deal if it was Obama trying to get a third term? Would it have been a big deal if it was Antifa? Would that have been a big deal? So stop looking at things from your side of the pond or otherwise, and just look at things in reality, because that's what we used to do. That's why we were great. That's why we were the #1 country in the world. That's why we were the shining city on the hill. But I promise you that shine is fading. I know too many people in too many countries that have told me they're all laughing at us, all of them, because we're fighting each other instead of fighting real problems that we really have. We really have these problems, and we need to focus on them, because the more we divide each other, the more we sit here and bicker with each other like a couple of nasty neighbors that hate each other and go to the HOA and scream at each other all day. Nothing gets fucking done, and we waste every resource we have. Stop being wasteful, stop being realistic, and let's start tackling the things that need to be tackled.
Okay, I cannot agree with what you said. I think these hearings are necessary. And I blame
nonsense.
I blame the fucking Tea Party.
No, they just need to prosecute.
Can I get in here? You just had a monologue. I blame the Tea Party because they started with this mass misinformation. I blame Fox News for perpetuating it. I blame the Americans who elected him. Yeah, we need to go through all this and put this shit on the TV and make these niggas see this shit. They were so stupid during this. A lot of them have come out and said that, like Terry said, but a lot of them still have not.
You know what does that? Donald Trump in handcuffs. That's what does that. You don't really need a whole summer's worth of.
Maybe this will lead to that.
You don't.
I want to see every.
You don't need a whole summer to tell people what happened. We all watched.
America was never a shining city on the hill. Maybe for white men, but.
Well, that was the term. But yeah,
you guys have yet. You got to go?
That's just
we're wrapping it up.
Are you? We're done?
Yeah, we're done. Okay. It's an hour show, man.
Usually I don't even rebut on the monologue.
You don't want to go there, huh?
Normally we just end right here. But
after his monologue,
she doesn't agree with me this week.
I got to tell you.
Normally it's just praise Jesus and then we go. but no, she didn't like this one.
Did you have something you wanted to add before we...
You didn't like this? Did I upset you?
What?
No. Oh, okay.
No, this is every week, man. This isn't just
you guys do it. No, no.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this show.
Let me
okay, before we go, just give me 3 Joe Biden accomplishments.
Okay, good God. We're not talking about
just three, and I'll go. Okay, right. Because I got to tell you guys that I'm kind of disappointed that you have not mentioned this name in this interview in this hour.
You did,
and you're focusing on Donald Trump's an asshole, whatever, prosecute him. But you're right. There are much more important things going on. There are much more important things going on than Donald Trump right now, and the guy's living rent free in your minds, and it's horrible. Let's focus on Uncle Joe and what the hell's going on in this country.
I'll let you know that I really appreciated how he handled Russia at first. When it first happened, I appreciated how he came out and he spoke and he didn't use insightful language. That was really nice. It was nice to have that going on.
He was nice. Okay.
Mm-hmm. He not just nice, but like professional, you know?
Okay.
I think that I really appreciate him coming out and speaking on gun violence the last couple of weeks, because we had the Buffalo thing. And then we had the school shooting. So I appreciate his just thoughtfulness on that. Like not tweeting rude things.
So that's an accomplishment. I mean, an accomplishment that
you asked.
It's an accomplishment now.
Give me 3 accomplishments. I want 3 accomplishments where we can say, "Wow, yeah, he did this. Wow, the American people are much better off because he did this." borders, crime, economy, gas, anything. Tell me.
Listen, no, it's
Just give me three real quick. We gotta go. We gotta go. We have three, just three.
You'll stop talking.
Sorry.
Give him a third.
No, I don't have to give him a third. You know
See,
why?
G can only come up with two. You know, that's
hang on. Okay. First of all, the one thing that I do like about Biden that I didn't like about Trump is he never says there's good people on both sides. He never deflates an argument like that because he doesn't want somebody to dislike him. If he's got an opinion on, say, gun laws, he just says it. And he lets the chips fall where they may. That's what a politician should do. They should stand up for what they believe in and stop kowtowing to people on both sides, trying to win everybody's favor.
Yeah.
But that's not my point. This is a loaded question from you, Raul. And, and I was really respecting you up to this point because you and I both know that the Senate being the way it is with Kristen Sinema and what's his name, basically two fake Democrats that are just with him in the with him in the coal lobby, and then with Sinema and her basically right-wing views, nothing was ever going to get done because if it doesn't come through Congress, you're not going anywhere. So they say that Democrats control the House and the Senate and the White House, but they don't. They really don't. Because as long as the filibuster is around, you still need 60 votes to get anything through the Senate, right? And as long as you've got Kirsten Sinema and I'm spacing on his name, but the other guy, no, the other guy from Carolina. But anyway, yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Rand Paul.
No, God, no, coal country. But no, as long as you have those two blocking everything.
Mitch McConnell.
No, not Mitch McConnell, but he is the mastermind behind it. But no,
they got a new one you're talking about.
But you guys are giving me attributes.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Attributes. Neither one have given me one accomplishment.
Listen,
you're telling me he's a nice guy. This is the way he did this. He talked like this. He recognized that.
The Build Back America bill was a good bill and it should have passed.
It was a good idea.
No, it was a good bill and it should have passed, but it didn't. And that puts us another step behind the rest of the first world countries on the planet, and which is why another reason why we're just falling behind. Yeah. We're falling behind because we'd rather wait 4 years for our guy to do it than to just get it done.
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
I think an underlying cancer is that no matter what party's in charge, the other party will spend its next 4 years trying to shoot him down.
Exactly.
And vice versa. And I cannot remember the last time in American history where there was bipartisan support on whatever we're doing.
Like,
the 90s? I was there.
I don't know. Was it when Clinton?
The problem is the conservative legislation is not really supported by the American public. You already said this. So why would the Democrats support that shit?
But yes, under Bush 1 and Clinton, there was a lot more bipartisan cooperation than there is now.
Tea Party.
Yeah.
Obama changed everything.
No, the Tea Party changed everything.
No, Obama changed everything because he basically created the Tea Party because he dared to be president and black.
Oh, okay. So he did it. It's his
fault.
Obama romanced the country.
Where are you going to be this week? We got to do promos.
You sound like you're back to your old.
No, I'm not. It's just ridiculous.
All right, Raul. Thank you.
No, wait.
All right, guys.
Where are you going to be at this
Tell
week?
me.
Oh,
I'm going to be at the last nudes show.
We're going to be at the last nude show.
That's right. On Friday night.
Cool.
Noodle Station in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, noodles. I thought you said nude.
Yeah, thanks. No, well, that's what it's called.
The show's called The Nudes.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, okay. That's Abby, right?
Well, tell jokes for nudes. But anyway, yeah. Shout out to Abby Ballin.
Yes.
She's awesome.
The last one. She's killing her own baby, as she said.
Yeah, that's the title. Of
in support of Roe v. Wade.
I love Abby. She's awesome.
I don't know what that.
But yeah, we're on that. And
thank you so much, guys.
Come out to Fort Lauderdale and see us on Friday night.
Yep.
All right.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed it, man.
All righty.
All right.
Bye.
Don't leave.
Okay.